I think what happened this year, whether it was Three Arrows, FTX, Terra Luna, Voyager, Celsius, we pick all the debacles, I think that probably slowed the forward progress and slowed the future, but I still believe that the future is coming. And, you know, there were people that had horses and carriages that thought the horseless carriage was a fad. Bill Gates said in the mid-90s that the internet was a fad. He's a brilliant guy, so he reversed course and obviously started plowing money into the internet. But we can look at every time there's a paradigmatic shift in technology that is transformational, you get this sort of thing, but you also get an induction of bad behavior.
Is bad judgment, or is there, in your view, do you think that there's some criminal?
Joe, I don't want to, you know, I don't want to assume what.
How about just as you, Rostam, not as the CFTC guy?
You know, a lot of what's been reported right now suggests that there's going to be more than just some market manipulation and violations.
And we have an extradition with Muhammad.
But I don't.
There's been a lot of speculation about Sam Bankman-Fried as a donor to the Democratic Party. And I don't know if you believe it's real. I don't know if you believe these are conspiracy theories.
Not about the biggest, right?
Yeah. Not about the donations themselves, but about whatever influence he may or may not have had over this regulatory discussion or debate, and whether you think whatever that is, he was a beneficiary of.
Right. So I can't speak to campaign contributions and what he was doing with elected officials, but I can tell you in my conversations with policymakers, those who overlook the CFTC, this narrative or this idea that he was constructive or influential in drafting bills, that's just not true. And I know that's not true because I was a part of that drafting process. I worked with senators and members on the House to think about what we need to bring transparency to the market. So the bills that are out there, I think, are quite comprehensive and address many, if not all, of the issues on the market side.
Have you met with him? Gary Gensler did meet with him. Did you meet with him?
So I met with him, but the reason specifically is he has a registered derivatives platform. FTX has a registered derivatives platform with the CFTC. It's operational. It's not in bankruptcy. And about a year ago, in December of 2021, FTX came in and submitted an application to amend their existing license. So for the past 10 or 11 months, Sam and his sort of senior leadership team has been coming in a lot to the CFTC to advocate for the amendment to get it passed by the commission.
There is no sugarcoating it. The FTX collapse has been a dumpster fire. FTX users have been left out to dry. The digital asset ecosystem is in limbo.
We are aggressively searching for answers. We'll see if bringing him in front of Congress is the right thing, but clearly there's a public trust violated here, and we need to understand it.
In particular, at FTX, we looked at investing twice and passed both times. But, you know, I do think the underlying technology of blockchain has very interesting implications if you separate it from the issue of, you know, an asset class. I will tell you, the second time we looked at it, it was 5 times the valuation of the first time. And, you know, we were a bit surprised at the overall level of valuations as well.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And you know I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And guys, we have Scaramucci saying that crypto is definitely the future. And we know what it's set up for, the 4th Industrial Revolution, where the robots, algorithms, and drones take over the economy, pay each other with crypto, and the sheep go inside the metaverse. And we have the CFTC on CNBC, backing away on saying that Sam Bankman-Fried committed crimes. And if you notice, CNBC cuts his mic. And what does he say? That's right. FTX derivatives is still up and running and is not in bankruptcy. And yes, you heard that correctly. And we see that we have the politicians coming. And we know they're paid and bought for. They'll probably bring Sam Bankman-Fried just to question him, and he goes right back home. And we have one of the Revenge of the Nerds, Steve Mnuchin. And remember, he's the best producer of all time, of all movies. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you, but he says that FTX sent red flags. But guys, we know this is all a collusion, all a plan We're just watching a simulation. Now we have Cal Davies from Three Arrows. As where was he at? But no one's trying to go get Sam Bankman-Fried when he should be arrested. And we have Sam Bankman-Fried writes back to CNBC. All these reporters that CNBC has, they can't send to go interview Sam Bankman-Fried. Guys, you have to wake up. And we have Cal Bass on CNBC. Says there's nothing better than fiat. Guys, we know all fiat does. They're printing pieces of paper. And we know the New World Order printed so much paper, they bought up the world. And when you have the printing press, you can create illusions. They have it so you think Africa is poor, when they're taking all their commodities and buying it with the fake money. Yes, guys, it's unbelievable. You're talking about the richest continent in the world. Every nation looks at Africa as poor. It is downright amazing. And then also, Cal Bass brings up Tether. And we know there's going to be an explosion eventually because we know the central banks want to bring in their currency. That's the reason why they printed 20% of all U.S. dollars in 1 year, so they could destroy the U.S. dollar, destroy this legacy market, so they can give the rise to China, the dragon, along with that digital yuan, backed by that digital SDR. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Firm filed for bankruptcy back in July. You haven't publicly mentioned FTX until this week. Why are we only hearing about these allegations now?
We have mentioned it many times, but frankly, no one wanted to hear it. If you recall, one of the biggest critics of us right after our collapse was Sam Bankman-Fried himself of FTX. And we now know, as things are coming out, that he was probably covering up a lot of things on his side. And it's also coming out that he hunted our positions. So I think it's one of those things that in the trueness of time, we will find out the truth, and we're looking forward to justice.
And Kyle, so explain that to us. You say FTX and Alameda colluded to trade against clients. Your positions were hunted and liquidated, as you put it. Walk us through that, and what evidence do you have?
Everything's coming out now, which is why we're being a little bit more public. But the FTX and Alameda are two separate firms. FTX is an exchange. Alameda is a trading firm. They have similar ownership. It's coming out that they, shared information and that they sat in the same room, and that I've got ex-employees or recent employees of FTX, which are bragging about hunting and liquidating our position. So this is not the way in non-crypto companies. This is just not the way it's done, right? There's a clear segregation between an exchange and any kind of proprietary trading firms, which was apparently not the case.
Andrew, it's Becky. I take it you're not in Bali because of the G20. Are you there because Indonesia is one of 7 countries that won't extradite you back to the United States?
No. Well, for one, I haven't lived in the United States for like a decade. I've been in Asia. But for 2, no. It's just a good place to be.
And Kyle, we do have a statement from Sam Bankman-Fried on your allegations. We just want to read that to you. He says, "I'm shocked." He's saying that, 100% disagree. It's extremely disappointing and irresponsible. I'm sad about what's happened with FTX over the past few weeks, and I'm trying to do what I can to address that. He says, I don't want to minimize that, but this is completely different, and he says there's no truth to their allegations here. Your response to that, and question on why he...
I'm sure that we can talk about more than just crypto, Kyle, but I know you have some thoughts about what's transpired in the past couple of weeks, so take it away.
Well, I've stayed quiet on crypto all along, Joe, but I think that what we're seeing here is just the beginning of the unraveling of the whole idea that there is a better currency out there than the hegemonic positions of the world. And I think what happened at FTX I think is again just a harbinger of things to come. You see that there are going to be many others that file for bankruptcy, and I heard the CFTC chair talk about regulation, and one of the things that you have to think about is when you regulate something, you almost add legitimacy to what you're regulating. I think the law enforcement officials should be diving in head first to the fraud and to what's happening to U.S. investors here, but as you know, this marketplace is a marketplace of just riverboat gambling and people looking to make 50% a month and kind of move themselves off of one of the, let's say, best currencies in the world, the U.S. dollar, and whether it's a U.S. or G7 currency, there's really no room in the world for any other currency. And I know I'm going to probably endure some attacks here, but it's
the future of crypto at this point, Kyle?
I mean, the question is, what is Tether? Like, what is this $66 billion behemoth that has its headquarters at a small bank in the Bahamas that's literally a hop, skip, and a jump from Sam Bankman-Fried's lairs in Albany? You go see this building. I've actually walked into this building and, saw a guy eating a sandwich. And I said, so this is where the $80 billion is? The question is, I've spoken with the top head traders of fixed income at some of the largest securities firms in the world who tell me we've never done one trade with Deltec Bank or Tether. And if you look at their balance sheet, they say that there is repos, treasuries, this and that on their balance sheet. Now, they also own precious metals and secured loans and things like that. But if there's an $80 billion or $66 billion now institution out there trading repos and treasuries, you'd assume that someone would find them. Now, I must caveat my statement with, I didn't talk to every single dealer in the world. So maybe there's a dealer out there that will claim they do business with Tether, but I haven't been able to find one. So I just wonder why. Like, what is the purpose of a stable coin when you have G7 currencies? The only purpose of a stable coin, in my opinion, is to be able to jump outside of U.S. and let's say IRS jurisdiction and lever yourself in trade and not report your earnings. And there is no other rationale for owning a stable coin.
We're going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
This effort. And China has big plans for this. They intend to seed their digital yuan into the global environment by giving it away to visitors at next winter's Olympics. When they arrive at the airport, they're going to get yuan digital wallets. They're going to receive digital yuan. They're going to use it throughout their visits to Beijing, and then they're going to take it back to their home countries. They see this as a huge advantage. Why? Because who controls the underlying protocols, who controls the underlying standards of the future of money will control the future of money.
Most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids' books. You know, I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis, whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, We have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.